I boo-hooed. I said, oh, the club put me in there. No. I put myself in there. I did what I had to do as a Hell's Angel.
You know, my daddy always, if you got in a fight and you came home with a bloody nose, did you hit him back? If you didn't hit him back, Dad put you in the car and took you back over there and told you going up in that yard and get your shit done and be a man.
They got their walls drove through by gangs, by the FBI gang, and all that shit happened to that chapter, right? Like those guys go through their being a big motorcycle club. It's even sometimes just being a small motorcycle club. You go through your.
A lot of people that have come in have seen definitely a change in the club and the direction that the club is going.
I looked out my window and you could see a body laying out in front. And here's this dude running around up there with just had his sweatshirt on. And he tells me he's a Hell's Angel. Even after all that, I still wanted to join the Hell's Angels.
People out there, man, that are just natural followers. And they just fall right in line with that type of program. But not 1%ers, man. 1%ers don't ask permission.
Welcome to this episode of Chattin With Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about all these arrests that Donny Wonch gets, but he never goes to prison. What's the deal with that? He just had court the other day, and it's not like in the headlines, it's not in the news, nothing. So we're going to get into that. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chattin With Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch this show. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App, Chattin With Staxx. Or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats, Zelle, all that good stuff. Every dollar goes right back into the show so I can bring you the dopest content possible. I want to start doing different things. I think I'm going to start limiting my lives. I think I'm going to start putting together better quality shows. So maybe I'll do like 3 lives a week or something like that, because I want to bring you guys better content. And if I could really sit and work on videos, I think I'll be able to bring you much higher quality content. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a change, and I'm going to bring you longer interviews. I'm going to stop breaking them apart so much. Hey, Mad Tink, how you doing? Thank you for joining me. It's been a while. Al Rose is in the building. Ryan, what's good? Thank you for joining me. Ken, how are you? Good afternoon. Got So Loud in the building. Shout out to the Boondocks in North Carolina. Ooh, I got some good stuff coming from the Carolinas soon. Stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a good show. Chad, how you doing? Thank you for joining me today. The first story we're going to talk about is a pretty wild one. There's been a lot of things in the news recently. So, first, let's talk about this. Mr. John Eletto. Johnny the Liar, a liar. Ray, what's up, man? How you doing? Ungovernable. How you doing? Thank you for joining me, man. Shout out to BC. So Eletto is going to court. Finally, he will make his first court appearance on June 24th. Isn't that today? Oh, shit, that's today. He's going to make an appearance today. The ex-mobster, now councilman in his hometown, to make court appearance on June 24th, which is today. John Eli is charged with loan sharking. He previously spent 14 years in prison for 6 murders. Dun, dun, dun. Wilson, what's up? Tommy, how are you? The ex-mobster turned local councilman. And shout out to all the people out there that's saying, you want to say this to Eletto's face, he would break your jaw. I thought he was a changed man. I thought he was a changed man. What are you talking about? Eletto is a straight liar, fabricator. He is not in the mafia. He has never been in the mafia. He was never going to be in the mafia. So all you guys, all these riders are crazy. Facebook, is this pro gangster or against? I randomly found this on suggested Facebook. No, this is against the people who cooperate and then act like gangsters. And listen, being a gangster these days is taking care of your family and doing the right thing, not acting like a tough guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a gangster. All the gangsters out there could be gangsters. Straight up. The rats, fuck them. All of them. Herman, what's good, man? Thank you for joining me. Fuck the rats. Definitely fuck the rats. And especially this guy. And all the people that say, you won't say it to his face. Yes, I would. So John A. Light, who won the Englishtown Borough Council seat last year, spent Friday night at the hospital in Freehold. His attorney, Douglas Anton, said he's being treated for certain medical issues. He's probably crying. He doesn't want to go to prison and go on the top bunk before being transported to jail. So he was in the hospital being treated because his feelings were hurt. He had to go on the top bunk. So he cried that he had something wrong with him. And they brought him to the hospital, babied him a little bit, and said, you can't stay here. You're going to jail, bro. So he's scheduled to appear in court today. A Light allegedly threatened to strike one debtor in the head with a baseball bat. And he told others that he could gut people like a fish. One alleged victim was pressured into paying attorney's fees related to property deed. Wow, that's crazy. And others were allegedly threatened over loan repayments and invest payments and interest. God damn, this dude is so screwed, according to the criminal complaint. And on top of it, you got Borello, Mr. Dick Lips, right? You got him going online saying, I would never turn on John A. Light. He's my friend. These guys are all rats, all the same bullshit. They would throw their own mother under the bus. Some of them have done it. I mean, look at Dominic the Donkey Sicali. This dude robbed his grandmother. Like, you can't make it up. So according to the criminal complaint, A. Light kept a cache of weapons at his home that were connected to debt collection through threats of violence and intimidation. But on his Facebook page, they're trying to say that, oh, the baseball bats were for sale through his podcast. He was signing the baseball bats and selling them through his podcast, right? But they have a different idea of what's really going on here. They said that they were used in connection to debt collection through threats, violence, and intimidation. The New Jersey State Police reported finding 6 baseball bats, 1 near the front door and 5 in the kitchen, metal knuckles, an expandable baton, 2 slapjacks, and roughly 24 switchblades and other knives. Oh, man. Prosecutors say that these weapons were relative because A. Light allegedly used threats of physical violence to collect money. Law enforcement also found a bag containing Encaver, an anabolic steroid. Of course he's on steroids, right? And no prescription attached or information was attached to the bottle. The charges announced by the New Jersey Attorney General last week included extortion, loan sharking, terroristic threats. Authorities accused A. Light of making high interest loans carrying interest rates exceeding 50% annually and using threats and intimidation to force repayment. He allegedly sought victims' home addresses and expressed the intent to confront them personally. A-Light was an alleged Gambino crime family hitman. We all know that's not true. He was a Gotti associate. That's it. The trailer park of the mafia. He was a Gotti associate. He used to sleep over at John Gotti Jr.'s house. Like, there's pictures of them jumping on the bed. So allegedly he was a forcer for John Gotti Jr. or John Gotti, it says here, but that's not true. He was Junior's best friend. Before he testified against them, he admitted to about 36 shootings while working for the crime family. A-Light became a counsel. Like, what are the fucking chances of this, right? This guy allegedly did all this shit, right? Killed people and did all these crimes, and you put him in as a councilman? This dude cooperates with the government, and what? He's okay to be a councilman? How does that work? I don't get it. So he became a councilman in 2025 after Kyle Jawiski resigned and later won the primary and general elections. He was unopposed in the primary and the general elections. He probably threatened his way to the top too there, right? An alleged accomplice is Stephen Lacondo. Has already been released. So his accomplice was released from prison so far. He's probably ratting out John A-Light. Guess what? The wheels turn. They might turn slowly, right? But they turn. So he cooperated against people. Now people are going to cooperate against him. How ironic, right? How ironic. So now Leto and Dick Lips, they could start a podcast from in prison. Because Barillo's going to prison too, if you didn't know. He got an offer of prison time and he denied it. So we'll see what happens with him down in Florida and see if he's going to go to prison too. Pretty crazy. I mean, these people can't get out of their own way. Like you said, legend in his own mind. It's insane. Absolutely crazy. So let's talk about this situation. So this kid, it says, foolhardy motorcycle gang member, I don't know exactly what that is, sets himself on fire before jumping into the sea during bizarre stunt. This dude set himself on fire. Flames, fame, and a folly. Viral biker stunt ends in fireball leap into the sea. In the age of social media, where clicks and views and viral fame often outweigh common sense, and that is so true, one young biker has become the latest example of how far people are willing to go for online attention. A shocking video making rounds across social media platforms show the 20-year-old motorcycle club member setting himself on fire before launching himself into the sea in Spain. This stunt, which many viewers initially believed was computer generated or staged, was all too real. The video, and later spread widely online, the young man reportedly soaked himself in fuel, ignited his clothes, and then hurled himself from the concrete platform into the water below in front of stunned onlookers. The footage has sparked both fascination and outrage, with safety experts warning that the stunt could easily have ended in tragedy. Listen, I'm not saying 100% Donnie's a rat, but I'm saying something's fishy with this whole situation, all right? I'm not saying 100% he is. We're just going to explain what's going on, and you guys figure it out on your own. I don't call people that without hard proof, you know? According to reports, the Spanish media, the incident occurred at Ripoll refueling station at the port of Valencia. The young rider, believed to be associated with a motorcycle club called La Badel Calebo, the Little Horse Club, it says. That's what it means. Was seen wearing a dark hoodie before dousing himself in a flammable liquid. Moments later, the flames engulfed his upper body. I mean, that's just crazy. How many of you would do this for views and clicks online? Moments later, the flames engulfed his body. Instead of attempting to extinguish the fire immediately, he sprinted towards the edge of a structure overlooking the harbor and leaped into the sea. The water quickly extinguished the flames, allowing him to emerge seemingly unharmed. But experts say the outcome could have been far different. Fire safety professionals have warned that slight change in wind conditions, a delay in reaching the water, or fuel spreading to exposed skin could have resulted in a catastrophic injuries, including severe third-degree burns and permanent disfigurement or death. Jeremy, what's going on? Shout out to AZ. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining me. Social media has a dangerous influence, and I 100% believe that. Because these original court system regulations to get public information is different. I don't believe that, but whatever. I mean, hey, we could agree to disagree. I think something far more different is going on, but we're going to talk about it. Don't worry. Authorities and safety advocates say the stunt highlights the growing problem, increasingly extreme acts performed for online audiences across Europe, North America. Social media challenges and viral stunt videos have led to numerous injuries and fatalities in recent years. What began as an attempt to entertain followers often escalates into dangerous competitions for attention. Hey, what's up, man? Things are great. The Gymster, what's good? How are you? I can't complain. So in this case, the stunt gained more visibility after being shared and celebrated online by individuals connected to a large motorcycle gathering that took place in the area days later. Critics argue that promoting such behavior encouraged copycats who may underestimate the risk involved. Many social media users express concern that younger viewers could attempt to recreate the stunt without understanding how quickly fire-related accidents can become fatal. Reports indicate the young man is believed to be a prominent member of the motorcycle club. A motorcycle enthusiast group has gained attention as part of Spain for its highly visible social media presence and large gathering of riders. I mean, it seems that's to be more and more nowadays, the high visibility on social media. All these clubs are on social media. Not all of them are talking about stuff, but they're posting pictures. They're posting pictures of their runs, pictures of them riding around. However, the video's viral spread has prompted renewed discussion about reckless behavior, public safety, and the role social media plays in encouraging increasingly dangerous acts. This could have been seconds from disaster. What makes the footage so unsettling is how narrowly disaster appears to have been avoided. And that's what makes it exciting, though, right? Like, if it was safety, or if it was safe, people wouldn't care. They wouldn't watch it. So what do you guys think of this situation? Do you think they're blowing it out of hand? Or do you think this is too dangerous to be doing shit like this? What do you guys think? I want to know what your thoughts are. Did you guys see this wild stuff? I don't know if you guys seen this. But Mandami, right? Mandami, the New York City's mayor, who shouldn't be New York City's mayor. It's insane. I don't understand why they even let this guy be the mayor. I don't understand. They know what he's trying to do, right? So why do they continue to do what they're doing? Why are people letting this happen? I don't get it. So Mandami, Zorhan Mandami, gave a shout out to an Al Jazeera cameraman. But however, it turns out that the man was actually a Hamas sniper who was posing as a journalist. Like, you can't make this up. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. Mandami publicly highlighted the death of the man during a news conference, saying it was proof that Israel was targeting civilians and journalists while criticizing American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Man, dummy saying, I want to be very clear. We're talking about the status quo where children are being killed on a daily basis. And listen, I don't agree with children being killed, but sometimes that's all a part of war, right? But it's really not okay for children to be involved with any of that. But they're killed by Israeli military since the so-called ceasefire. Even Al Jazeera journalist, blah, 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 who was killed this past Saturday in an Israel airstrike. Now, there's videos of this dude busting shots in the air with AKs and other weapons. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is this guy in office? Why are we letting people who are not born here, who won't assimilate, who don't like this country, why are we letting them in office? It doesn't make sense. California, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, New Jersey, all corrupt. New York City, corrupt. Like, it's just spreading like wildfire. Now it's starting to go down to Texas and other states. Virginia, corrupt. Al Jazeera called the strike a deliberate attack on its staff. The Israeli Defense Forces identified the man as a Hamas sniper operative in the group's military wing who operated under the cover of a journalist. So he was pretending to be a journalist, and you got Mandami standing up there on the podium, and he was sworn in on a Quran. Makes no sense. This is one land, one nation under God, not one nation under Hamas or any other, or the Quran, right? They let them swear in under the Quran. This is a Christian country, and it's always been. They released his military ID number, along with photos and video evidence showing him carrying assault rifles while moving through the streets and posing with sniper rifles and wearing Hamas headband. The IDF said it was targeted him as a terrorist posing as media personnel. Similar state. Listen, you got to get out there and vote, man. That's the most important thing. You vote and you get these people out of office. You have a voice. Everybody has a voice. You know what I mean? I mean, it's hard when a lot of people aren't voting and you got all these people that vote for this type of stuff, but at least you can try, right? But a lot of the places are so corrupt, they're going to win anyway. Listen, when they start telling us what to do and how to have women dress and all this other shit, people will wake up then, right? When it's too late. So the IDF said they targeted him because of terrorists posing as social media personnel, media personnel. Similar statements were asserted against the brother Mohammed, whom the IDF said was a Hamas anti-tank missile unit commander based on documents recovered from a laptop in North Gaza. Republicans say this man's death is a clear example of Hamas tactics of using journalists and press credentials to cover for their terrorists. They also point out how Hamas hides in hospitals and daycares, increasing the risk of civilian casualties. So it's just crazy. I don't understand. It'll be too late. When everyone figures out what's going on, it'll be too late, and we'll all be screwed. And I believe that. I really do. It'll be way too late, and we won't know. No one will have any clue on how to fix it, because these people will be embedded into society. It's already happening. Let me see. I'm trying to find this picture. But anyway, this situation, we got a bunch of things to talk about. Lucchese mob heavyweight pleads guilty in $5 million North Jersey gambling empire. This was a pretty big deal. For decades, the American mafia has survived by adapting as traditional rackets faded and law enforcement pressure intensified. Organized crime families have shifted their focus towards lucrative underground enterprises that continue generating millions of dollars behind closed doors. Among the most profitable of those ventures remained illegal gambling, a business that has served long as the financial lifeblood of organized crime. Now, one of the most significant mob prosecutions in New Jersey in recent years has delivered a major blow to the Lucchese crime family. The New Jersey Attorney General officials announced that several alleged members and associates connected to the Lucchese family, including reputed capo Georgie Neck Zappola and Joseph Big Joe Perna, have pleaded guilty to second-degree racketeering charges stemming from a massive gambling investigation that authorities say uncovered a criminal operation worth millions of dollars. Also pleading guilty was John Perna, the brother of Big Joe Perna. His family was involved with this too. His wife, his kids, his ex-wife. Like, it's crazy. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Great show, Staxx. I appreciate you. So other defendants swept up in the wide-ranging probe. The guilty pleas marked a significant milestone in the case that investigators describe as one of the largest organized crime gambling crackdowns in state's recent memory. According to authorities, investigation targeted the alleged illegal gambling network's operation throughout northern New Jersey that generated an estimated $5 million in illicit proceeds. Law enforcement officials spent months gathering evidence before launching a coordinated operation that resulted in multiple arrests, charging individuals. Prosecutors played key roles in that enterprise. At the center of the investigation were men associated with New York's most powerful organized crime family, Zappola, known in organized crime circles as Georgie Neck, had been regarded by law enforcement as a longtime Lucchese crime family captain with deep roots in the traditional mafia hierarchy. His name has surfaced repeatedly over the years in organized crime investigations, making his guilty plea particularly significant. Big Joe Perna has similarity have been identified by authorities as a high-ranking figure in the Lucchese organization. Together, prosecutors alleged the defendants participated in a racketeering enterprise and relied on illegal gambling operations to generate substantial revenue. Rather than risk lengthy trials, the defendants entered guilty pleas to second-degree racketeering charges. As part of the plea agreement, authorities indicated that defendants are expected to receive 7-year state prison sentences. 7 years for millions of dollars. What? Holy shit. Would you guys do it? Would you risk your freedom for 7 years for millions of dollars? But it's okay for Gotti, right? The nephew, John Gotti's nephew, to steal $1 million in COVID money, and he gets 15 months. How does that work? Makes no sense. So their sentencing is for later this summer. For Zappola, the sentence is particularly offset by the time already served. The veteran mob figure has spent approximately 14 months in custody since the investigation resulted in his arrest. Formal sentencing is expected to take place in August. The case represents another chapter in law enforcement's long-running battle against organized crime in the Northeast. While the mafia no longer dominates the headlines the way it did during the height of its power in the 20th century, prosecutors continue to argue that traditional crime families remain active and profitable through gambling, loan sharking, fraud, and other illicit enterprises. North New Jersey gambling case demonstrates that authorities remain committed to targeting those operations, particularly when they involve individuals occupying leadership positions within the organized crime organizations. The organized crime observers, the guilty plea is noteworthy, not only because the defendants involved, but because they underscore the reoccurring reality of modern mafia investigations. Despite decades of prosecutions, racketeering cases, high-profile convictions, illegal gambling continues to attract experienced organized crime figures seeking large profits with relatively low visibility. This time, however, investigators say the operation's success ultimately became its downfall. So they were making a lot of money, millions of dollars, it says. The guilty plea effectively closes one of New Jersey's largest recent organized crime prosecutions and guarantees that several alleged Lucchese leaders will spend years behind bars. They're not going to spend that much time. It's a nonviolent offense. I mean, they're probably they got 7 years, right? They already been in prison for what, 14 months? They're going to do less than half of that. So they ain't going to get that much time. And they got money from the situation. They don't have to pay any money back, right? This time, however, investigators say the operation's success became its downfall. The guilty plea effectively closes one of New Jersey's largest recent organized crime prosecutions and guarantees that several Lucchese leaders will spend years behind bars. Whether the convictions significantly weaken the family's influence remains to be seen. But for now, one thing is certain. A multi-million-dollar gambling empire that allegedly operated in the shadows in North Jersey has come crashing down. To some of the most recognizable names connected to it are headed to prison. So what do you guys think of that situation? These guys are going to prison. So one of the highwaymen passed away. Little Joe Whiting, he was with the Highwaymen Motorcycle Club. This guy, Joseph Little Joe Whiting, rest in peace to him, sending condolences to his family. I heard he was a legend up there in Detroit. Gone riding, Highwaymen Motorcycle Club legend Little Joe Whiting dies doing what he loved the most. For many bikers, there is no greater freedom than the open road. The rumble of the engine, the wind cutting across the endless miles of highway, and the brotherhood forged through decades of riding become more than a pastime. They become a way of life. Or Joseph, Little Joe Whiting, one of the most respected figures in the Highwaymen Motorcycle Club, the lifestyle defined who he was until his final moments. Whiting, widely known throughout the motorcycle club circles as Little Joe, reportedly suffered a fatal heart attack while riding, passing away while doing the thing that he loved most, cruising on the open road. News of his death spread quickly throughout the biker community, prompting an outpouring of tributes from fellow riders, friends, and longtime associates who remembered him as a larger-than-life figure whose influence extended far beyond his club patch. To those who knew him, Little Joe was more than just a member of the Highwaymen Motorcycle Club. He was considered one of the club's most endearing personalities, rider whose name carried weight and respect wherever bikers gathered. Over the years, Whiting became a familiar face at motorcycle club events, charity rides, club functions, and gatherings across the country. His reputation was built not only on his years in the saddle, but on the relationships he formed along the way. In the biker world, respect cannot be bought. It cannot be demanded. It must be earned. Friends say Little Joe earned it through loyalty, consistency, and commitment to the lifestyle. He never wavered. Those closest to him describe a man who remained passionate about motorcycles until the very end. Whether riding with his brothers, attending events, or simply enjoying the solitude of the highway, Whiting never lost the connection to the road he had shaped so much of his life. His passing struck particularly emotional chord because of the circumstances. Many writers have said the certain poetic quality in leaving the world while experiencing the freedom. It is pretty wild that he passed away doing what he loved, right? While no one chooses the moment of their passing, fellow bikers can have reflected on the fact that Whiting spent his final moments exactly where he wanted to be, on his motorcycle, embracing the lifestyle he cherished. The Highway Motorcycle Club is one of the most recognizable motorcycle clubs in the United States, has long been known for its strong sense of brotherhood and traditions. The loss of this longtime member, Little Joe, leaves a void that cannot easily be filled. Across social media, memorial messages have poured in from riders across the country. Many remembered his humor. Others recalled his loyalty, willingness to help fellow riders. Some simply posted photographs from the years gone by, honoring memories shared on countless miles of asphalt. The stories all shared a common theme. Little Joe was a man who lived life on his own terms. As the tributes emerge, friends, fellow riders are focused less on sadness of his passing and more on the legacy he leaves behind. A legacy measured not in wealth or status, but in friendship, loyalty, and a lifetime of devoted to the road. In the motorcycle community, there's a saying that riders never truly die. They simply take their final ride. For Little Joe Whiting, his final ride came while doing exactly what he did and loved the most. And for those that knew him, that may be the most fitting farewell of all. So rest in peace to Little Joe Whiting. Sending condolences to his family and everybody affected by his loss. It's a terrible situation when someone passes away. You're riding with Staxx's show done? Me too. I'm definitely going to take a ride. Definitely like and subscribe. Donate if you can. Mafia moves in silence, huh? Yeah, not always. So let's get to the topic at hand. So the situation with the Rock Machine and the Red Devils and the Hells Angels, this situation that happened at the bar, right? Donny Wonch was there. I remember reading his name in this whole situation. So, but they didn't name him in the recent articles. And someone said in the comments, oh, it's because of Canada's laws and all this stuff. But so they name the other people, but they don't name Donny. Which is very odd. Diaz, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining me today. Wilson, how are you? So if you guys remember, there was, before this situation, right? Hold on, let me get it for you guys. All right, so here's what happened, right? Blood on the patio. 5 Hells Angels and Red Devil members convicted on brutal Hamilton biker assault. But this was 5 of them convicted. There's still more that are still going to court. This summer evening at a neighborhood Hamilton bar turned into a scene of violence and intimidation. The biker club rivalry when a probationary Rock Machine Motorcycle Club member was beaten and robbed and left bleeding on the ground in an attack that Ontario prosecutors described as a coordinated assault. Now, after closely watched trial, 4 alleged members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club and 1 alleged member of the Red Devils Motorcycle Club have been convicted for their roles in the shocking July 4th, 2024 incident at Cadillac Jack's Bar and Grill. The verdict marks significant victory for investigators who spent nearly 2 years building a case and sheds new light on a confrontation that unfolded in less than 4 minutes, but continues to reverberate throughout Ontario's Outlaw Motorcycle Club scene. A holiday weekend turned violent. According to Ontario Court Justice Amanda Camara, the atmosphere at Cadillac Jack's on Main Street was calm as patrons relaxed on the patio, sat at the bar, and played pool the evening of July 4th, 2024. Let me ask you a question. Do they celebrate the 4th of July in Canada? I mean, a serious question. Do they celebrate? Donny may have one of the most notorious lawyer members. Possible. I beat 5 charges. I mean, some people do, right? I mean, so according to the court justice, it was a calm night. Among the presents was a 66-year-old Daniel Schaefer, probationary member of the Rock Machine Motorcycle Club. Schaefer was spending time with David Robson, then president of the Rock Machine Motorcycle Club. The Gulof chapter court testimony revealed Schaefer had been tasked with helping protect Robertson that evening. What happened next was captured by what the judge describes as crystal clear surveillance footage. So this was all caught on tape. They weren't beating this at trial. So what happened next? It was all captured on surveillance footage. A large convoy of motorcycles rolled into the parking lot in a neighboring convenience store. Many riders were wearing Hells Angels and Red Devil colors. The arrival immediately changed the atmosphere. Witnesses described tensions spreading through the establishment as rival motorcycle club members suddenly found themselves in the same location. And this happens a lot, right? No, we celebrate Canada Day on the 1st. It's our long weekend. Okay. Hey, Kitso, how you doing? Good afternoon. Justice Camara ruled that Joel Rowling initiated the violence by grabbing and punching Schaefer. So let me show you who he is. That's him. So Joel is the guy. I don't have a picture of him. Let me see. I'll get a picture of him for you guys. All right, so Joel Schaefer is the guy all the way to the left. Moments later, Justin Hall joined in. I believe that's the guy right there. I'm not 100% sure, but Justin Hall joined in, restraining Schaefer and preventing him from escaping. William Ashford Smith then helped remove Schaefer's rock machine vest while Trevor Pittman climbed onto the railing and delivered punches to Schaefer's head. Daniel Fish, I believe, ultimately pulled Schaefer to the ground. The attack was swift, violent, and overwhelming. By the time it ended, Schaefer was lying motionless on the ground. Surveillance footage showed him remaining still for several seconds before slowly attempting to get back on his feet. I did get a lifetime weapons ban, though. Damn, that sucks, Keegan. So he got back up on his feet, right? So this guy was hanging out with the president. So it was the two guys on the right are the two rock machine. The guy to the left on the right is the prospect. He's an older man, and the guy he's tasked with protecting the guy on the right. But a whole pack of Hells Angels and Red Devils roll into the parking lot. Not just these two guys, there's a whole bunch of them. It was more than 5 people. It was like, I think they said 15, around 15 people. That's why Donny Wonch was there during this situation. That's what I hear, and I've seen articles with his name in it, but all of a sudden they're all gone. So blood streamed from the wound on his forehead as stunned patrons watched the aftermath. Police officers and bystanders eventually helped the injured man to a stool. Police officers were there? How fast did they get there? Like, did they arrest him right away? The justice concluded that 5 defendants acted together in carrying out both the assault and the robbery. Within the motorcycle club culture, a vest or colors represents identity, loyalty, status, and membership. Taking a rival member's vest carries significant symbolic meaning and is often viewed as an act of humiliation or domination. Prosecutors argued that the theft of Schaefer's rock machine vest was not random, but deliberate act designed to send a message. The court agreed. The convictions include robbery charges tied to directly forcibly removing the vest during the assault. The case also highlights the long-standing tensions within the Outlaw Motorcycle Club world. The Rock Machine and the Hells Angels shared a long-rooted in one of Canada's most infamous organized crime conflicts, the Quebec Biker Wars in the 90s and the early 2000s. While prosecutors did not argue that the Hamilton assault was directly connected to the historic conflict, the rivalry provided important context for understanding the encounter. Also presented at the bar were members of the Vendettas Motorcycle Club, a support club associated with the Rock Machine. And they didn't even get involved. That's crazy. Meanwhile, the court heard that the Red Devils Motorcycle Club operates as a support club for the Hells Angels. The conveyance of the rival clubs at a single location created a volatile environment and ultimately erupted into violence. A witness who never got to testify. Donnie was there. I know he was there. One of the most significant aspects of the trial was Schaefer's absence. The victim died on September 23rd, 2025. Before the case reached trial. As a result, the jurors and the court never heard him directly. the man who suffered from the attack. Instead, prosecutors relied heavily on surveillance footage, witness testimony, because they had video of this stuff, right? Dudes in the support club stood by and watched. Yeah, they stood by and watched as they beat two members of the club they're supposed to support. That's crazy. The judge noted that there was no evidence that Schaefer had provoked the attack or fought back. He didn't die from his injuries, they said. The defense suggests it was self-defense were rejected. They were trying to argue it was self-defense, but that was rejected. Following the incident, the OPP-led biker enforcement unit assumed control of the investigation. Authorities executed search warrants at locations with both the Hells Angels and the Red Devils clubhouse. Operation underscored seriousness in which law enforcement viewed the assault and broader concerns surrounding organized motorcycle club violence in Ontario. In addition to assault and robbery convictions, Ashford Smith was also convicted on unauthorized possession of a prohibited device after police discovered a switchblade and ammunition during a search of his residence. The convictions may only be the beginning. Prosecutors are expected to seek significant prison sentences when the defendants return to court for proceedings. I believe they were already sentenced, right? I think they got either 4 to 7 years. The Crown had already indicated it intends to argue that the man's motorcycle club affiliation should be considered as an aggravating factor during sentencing. That legal battle could have implications far beyond this case and may influence further prosecutions involving motorcycle club-related violence throughout Ontario. For now, however, the court's message was clear. Justice Camara found that the 5 men acted together to assault the older rival club member, strip him of his vest, and leave him injured on the patio floor. What began as a summer evening gathering ended in criminal convictions that was once again placed Canada's Outlaw Motorcycle Club under a spotlight. And I know he was there, so this situation happened. Hold on, let me find this. I believe this happened in 2022. This is a totally different situation, right? This is when Donny was an outlaw, and he never went to prison for this. Cocaine cache in a clubhouse. Police raid linked to Outlaw Motorcycle Club leads to drug charges. Pre-dawn police operation targeting multiple locations in Niagara region has resulted in drug trafficking and weapons charges against 2 men, while also drawing the attention to search conducted at property associated with the Outlaw Motorcycle Club. Niagara Regional Police officers executed a series of search warrants early Friday morning as part of an ongoing drug investigation that stretched across Thorold, Lincoln, and motorcycle club property. By the time the raids were over, investigators seized cocaine, cash, and prohibited weapons, while 2 Niagara men found themselves facing serious criminal charges. According to police, officers moved in shortly after 4 a.m. on a private residence in Thorold. Inside, investigators allegedly discovered 150 grams of cocaine, over $20,000 in cash, prohibited knife. Authorities estimated the street value seized was about $15,000. Can you not have a knife in Canada? Can you really get in big trouble for having a knife in your house? That just seems crazy to me because, I mean, if the knife's not that big, they don't care in the U.S. The raids resulted in the charges against 40-year-old Donny Wonch of Thorold. So this is when Donny was an outlaw, right? Wonch has been charged with possession of cocaine with the purpose of trafficking, possession of proceeds from crime, possession of prohibited weapon. He didn't do no jail time for this. At the same time, officers executed another search warrant at the residence in Lincoln. Police reported finding additional cocaine, cash, conducted energy weapon, which is like a stun gun, and brass knuckles. As a result of the search, 57-year-old Robert Nolan, we all know who he is. He's a pretty major figure out in Canada. I believe he's in prison. He got busted in January 21st in 2025 with the biggest cocaine bust in history. Robert Nolan. He was charged in with 21 defendants in 2007. He is a huge figure out there in Canada. Let me show you guys this. Let me wait for this ad to go by, and I got you. But this dude, he's the real deal. Let me show you guys. This is Robert Nolan.
About 1,800 pounds of cocaine was seized during the months-long investigation, and Toronto police alleged that more than half of it was discovered in a transport truck during a stakeout at a Canada-U.S. border crossing.
What we believe we have here, really the people that we arrested, are what we would call some very high-level distributors.
Hundreds of bricks of cocaine with a street value of about $83 million were on display at police headquarters, an astonishing haul of illegal drugs that was destined for communities right across the country. Investigators say Project Castillo kicked off in August after Toronto
was on the run.
Discovered cocaine that was being smuggled through a shipping company.
We started to investigate. At some point, we realized that a 18-wheeler was coming from Mexico through the United States up into Canada. It traveled through the States, got to our border. When it crossed into Canada, we asked the CBSA and the Mounties to stop it for us.
At the same time, search warrants were being executed at locations across the GTA. Police claim this is when they discovered several stash houses storing significant quantities of the drug. Investigators say this massive load of cocaine is connected to a violent Mexican cartel and believe they've also been operating here in Canada for quite some time.
This load of drugs, we believe, has the hallmarks of being associated to the Jalisco New Generation cartel. They are significant. Hopefully we really did some damage to them with this. Certainly they will continue, but this hurt them.
Yeah, right.
Have been arrested. 4 men.
How many didn't get turned in? Right? How many of those did not get turned in? I'm curious because we all know that they didn't turn on them all.
About 1,800 pounds of cocaine was seized during the months-long investigation, and Toronto police alleged that more than half of it was discovered in a transport truck during a stakeout at a Canada-U.S. border crossing.
What we believe we have here, Really, the people that we arrested are what we would call some very high-level distributors.
Hundreds of bricks of cocaine with a street value of about $83 million were on display at police headquarters, an astonishing haul of illegal drugs that was destined for communities right across the country. Investigators say Project Castillo kicked off in August after Toronto's drug squad discovered cocaine that was being smuggled
How
through
many-
a shipping company.
How many people think that only half got found?
As the hallmarks of being associated to the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. They are significant. Hopefully, we really did some damage to them with this. Certainly, they will continue, but this hurt them.
6 people have been arrested, 4 men from the GTA and 2 Mexican nationals. Arrest warrants have also been issued for 3 others, including Niagara Falls man, 60-year-old Robert
That's him.
Nolan, who police believe is still in the country, and 2 others who likely fled back to Mexico. This all comes amid the border controversy with the United States. Toronto's police chief would not comment specifically, but highlighted his continued advocacy for stronger security on both sides.
As a border with a lot of trade with the United States, we have to be mindful of illicit products. And in this case, we're talking about a massive cocaine seizure. And as I said, our city has a considerable issue regarding gun violence. The vast majority of those crime guns emanate out of the United States.
Now, investigators believe this has made a significant dent in the drug supply here in Canada, at least for now. The seizure happened back in November, and since then, police say the street value of cocaine has gone up about 20%. At police headquarters, Shauna Hunt, City News.
That's crazy that someone would have that much. Like, obviously, he works for the cartel, right? But he lost all that. And he's nowhere to be found. I can imagine where he is, right? So this situation happened before, right? As a result, the search warrant, 57-year-old Robert Nolan of Lincoln was charged with possession of cocaine, purpose of trafficking, possession, proceeds of crime, possession of prohibited weapon. Investigation took additional turn when police confirmed that a third search warrant was executed at the clubhouse associated with the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Authorities did not disclose whether any evidence was seized from the clubhouse, but have released few details regarding the purpose of the specific search. The lack of information has fueled speculation throughout the region, particularly because motorcycle club properties have frequently been the focus of organized crime investigations in Ontario over the years. However, police have not alleged the Outlaws Motorcycle Club itself was involved in the criminal offenses outlined in the charges, nor have investigators announced any charges connected directly to the clubhouse search. And that's the way it should be. I mean, why does the club have to be the bearer of all this bad stuff when it's the individuals themselves who are getting into trouble? So he left the club, or he got booted out, I think. Someone said he got booted out. I don't know exactly his whole reason on leaving the Outlaws. You think that? You think that's true, Colin? Robert Nolan, I mean, most likely would rather be in jail wherever he is. Come on, that's personal. It's personal use, man. It's all personal use, right? Who is? Robert Nolan is? Is he still? So what do you guys think about this situation? Why does Donny's charges always get dropped? He just had court. I think it was yesterday or the day before. There's no information about what happened. But But I'll bring you guys more information when I find out more information. Tomorrow, don't miss tomorrow's show. It's pretty good. Harley G's versus Bishop. It's going to be a great show. Pepper, how you doing? Thank you for joining me today. Don't miss tomorrow's show. I heard Donnie doesn't speak to the cops, but it's weird. He never gets in trouble. He must be a CI. He doesn't talk to the cops. I don't have proof, but I smell a rat. Who knows, man? It's crazy. Remember that? Do you guys remember the one? It looks like a woman that stole the Knicks garbage can in New York City, dumped out the garbage and took the can because it was painted orange and blue. So she has been found, right? She's 40-year-old. She worked for J.P. Morgan, DEI executive. Her name's Angie Baez. She was fired after stealing the Knicks garbage can. Good for them. Good for them. Because that's crazy. People think they could just do whatever they want. They fired her ass. Here, I'll show you guys the video. You probably all seen it, right? DEI. DEI executive. I got a couple videos to show you guys. Here it is.
What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah.
Lost her job at J.P. Morgan for stealing a garbage can. She should just put herself in that garbage can. Can you imagine losing your job from J.P. Morgan? She was probably making a lot of money. Can you imagine losing your job for stealing a garbage can? And she was a J.P. Morgan DEI executive, Angie Baez. She was fired after stealing the Knicks garbage can.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Insane. I mean, you can't make the level of stupidity up. You just can't. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Kurt, what's good? Tell your mother's brother, sister, friend. So this other, a man posted a video about a Father's Day situation that happened at his house. This is insane. These people came by and they tried to unalive him. Check this out.
Well, they just trying to kill me. All these bullet holes, bro. All these bullet holes, bro. They just trying to kill me.
Look at his TV. Look at that. That's crazy. Yeah, I think it'd be time to move, right? I guess he was sitting right in that chair right there in the corner. That is insane. Look at that TV. It says somebody seriously tried to take me out on Father's Day. Shake my head, thankful my kids. It doesn't say exactly what it was for. It said he had problems with somebody. Didn't say exactly why. Who knows? Some street stuff, you know. So, three women died in Philadelphia in a double murder. 3 women are dead in double murder in South Philadelphia home. Janice Panko, 67, believed to have shot Angelise Panko, 18, Dennis Karani, 55, before turning the gun on herself Monday. During a preliminary investigation by Philadelphia Police Department, officers responded to reports of a person with a gun around 5:30 p.m. Monday. When officers arrived at the scene, they found 3 women shot, police said. All 3 women were pronounced dead shortly after 5:30 p.m. Investigation remains into the incident, and it remains active and ongoing. I'll let you know more information as it becomes available. That's crazy. But I hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you for joining me today. Don't miss tomorrow's show. It's going to be a funny one. And shout out to Rap Fame Uncensored. Go subscribe to Rap Fame Uncensored. And let's help this guy get to 1,000 subscribers. He's at 296. Let's help him get to 1,000. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Rap Fame Uncensored. And I'll make the link for tomorrow's show right now so you guys will be able to go check it out. Oh shit, what did I just see? Clyde Davis passed away. Benzino, the rapper Benzino, he's been arrested for speeding and drug possession following a stop in Georgia. This dude just can't get out of his own way either, huh? Benzino was arrested again earlier this month on multiple charges after being pulled over for speeding in Georgia. According to reports, Benzino was stopped on Interstate 75 while driving through Crisp County, Georgia on June 9th, after an officer using a laser speed detection device observed a silver SUV speeding 91 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour zone. Zeno explained to the officer that he had a suspended license, saying it was for an outstanding child support payment. But they ran his name, however. They discovered Benzino's license was suspended for multiple infractions. The report states the police also smelled marijuana, which the rapper former reality star admitted to having while directing officers to a bag in the driver's side door. A second bag was also found alongside the passenger, who was identified in records as a woman named Ruth Lewis. Lewis claimed the drugs were hers. Both were arrested and booked to the Crisp County Jail on drug charges, while Benzino also got hit with speeding charges and driving without a valid license. Listen, there's some states that you can't have even marijuana on you. You can't. You just can't. It also turns out the SUV he was driving in was not his. Instead, it belonged to the woman. Another woman named Ashley Bell. Subsequently, Bell was charged with allowing an unlicensed driver to operate her vehicle. Benzino has since been released on bond. So I'll let you guys know more information. Already Staxx packed. I'm out. Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate you. Chattin with Staxx. 44 viewers, only 12 likes. Let's get them likes up, man. I should be on at 12 o'clock tomorrow. Don't miss it. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your mother's brother, sister's friend about Chattin with Staxx, the dopest motorcycle content on YouTube. Don't forget, tonight is The Scary Guy at 10 p.m. Don't forget. It's a great interview. It's longer, so you guys are going to enjoy it. If you want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. Or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chat, Zelle, all that good stuff. Every dollar goes right back into the show so I can bring you the dopest content possible. I appreciate every single person who donates. Thank you so much. See you guys tonight and tomorrow. Virginia Chaos, the Jimster. Thank you guys all for joining me. Kurt, Jason, Wilson. I'll put a link for Rap Fame Uncensored in the description of this video. Let's see. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.